What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here for something a tad bit different. We are here for an Ask Hippo. It's been so long since I've done a Q&A. I wanted this to be a monthly thing. Turns out the last one I did was like literally March, so it's been a while. But I wanted to do this. It's been a while since I've done something like this, and we're in a bit of a downtime now. Obviously, all the E3 major news has just passed. We don't really know anything else that's going to be coming. I'm not at E3, so I can't be asking the devs questions and stuff. So we're in this little down period, and I thought this would be a great time just to shove one of these in. Shove it in. Me ammo. And, you know, as I usually do on Twitter, ask you guys a bunch of questions. If you don't follow me on Twitter, link is down in the description. Twitter is the other half of YouTube. So if you don't follow me there, follow me so I can spam your timelines with this kind of shit. I've just noticed like my mic is in frame. That was really annoying. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and get straight into this. Wait, you guys asked questions on questions. Oh, fucking hell, there's loads here. I don't think we'll have to get through all. I don't think we're going to get through all of these. Right, so I'm seeing a lot of questions about the MX5. So I'm going to go through those first, assuming a lot of people are probably going to be interested in those. So let's go ahead and talk about the MX5. First question comes from 5 Prince, and his question is, what are the future plans for the MX5 and the channel? I'm just scrolling up through these now. I'm seeing a lot of questions about the plans for the car. So this is what is up. The reason why you haven't seen a lot of the MX5 on the channel is literally because I have no money. Just like a lot of you guys, I'm a broke student. I don't have any money to spend on that car at the moment. I hardly have enough money on fuel. It's one of those things, if I had the money, there's a few things which need to be fixed on the car. For example, someone knocked off my side mirror and it's still taped up because I can't afford a new side mirror. It's quite annoying. The O2 sensor needs to be replaced, like boring stuff. After all the boring stuff's fixed, I want to like get new tires and rims, because tires would make the world of difference on that car, especially if they were wider. If they were wider, that would also mean like it just would look a lot better with the fitment. I also want to get springs because right now it looks like it's on stilts. But the problem with all of this is, obviously, for those that don't know, I wasn't paid from YouTube for 6 months, and it's only up until the last few months that I've actually started being paid again, and it's not a lot. So I can't really justify spending all this money when I can't even afford to fix the side mirror. At the moment, I can't afford the Crew 2. Yeah, it's not as you know, fabulous as it looks. The YouTube thing isn't really, but you know, it's one of those things. Obviously, when I dedicate my time to it, I could get another job and I could get a part-time job, but all that time I'm sinking into that, and yeah, obviously I get more money out of it, but I could be doing this, and this is what I want to do after uni. So the idea is, if I spend more time doing YouTube, it'll put me in a better place for the future, even though I could earn a lot more money at Tesco's. But I eventually, like when I actually have money to spend, I do want to do stuff to the car. Springs, like I said, is up there. I want to get a whale tail spoiler. For those that don't know what that is, it's this. That's obviously on an S13 though. I obviously want to get tires and rims. There's a BBR exhaust which sounds absolutely sick. I'll see if I can find a video for that. There's a lot of things I want to do, but obviously money is a huge problem, just like you guys, which if you do want to support the channel, obviously ads and stuff helps. The stickers are still for sale. I'm pretty sure they're down here somewhere. I've still got a shit ton of these stickers, and like look how many stickers I have. That's not even all of them. So like, if you do want to support the channel and get something in return, obviously I have a Patreon, but I also have all of these stickers, which like are still available for purchase on my website, StraightUpHippo.com/shop. That's a bit of a shameless plug there, but gotta do what you gotta do. The next question comes from Kuba, and his question is, how did you even manage to insure the MX5 and what has happened to the Suzuki? So my insurance is actually cheaper, weirdly enough. Last year I paid like £1,500, I want to say, for the Suzuki Swift, and that was without a black box. For those people that don't know, I won't spend too much time on this. A black box in the UK basically is a little box they put in your car, and it measures how fast you are, what times you drive your car, and it kind of gives you a cheaper quote. But then at the same time, you can't take your car out at late times at night. You can't, you know, obviously drive fast or aggressively, which is boring. So I didn't have a black box on my Suzuki Swift, nor do I have a black box on my MX5. It was one thing I was just extremely against. Obviously, me being a car person, I don't want a little box in my car like going beep beep, go too fast. Nah, fuck that shit. Boring. And my insurance on my MX5 this year is £300 cheaper than my Swift last year, so it's not actually that expensive. I have had my license for 2 years, and I've got like obviously no claims and stuff now, and I've owned 3 cars, so that helps as well. We don't have to talk about what happened to the first. So the insurance isn't that bad, and then as for the Swift, I don't know what's happened to the Swift. I part exchanged the car, so traded in the car for the MX5, and that was the kind of risky thing. It was like, fucking hell, I didn't get anyone's help. I did it all by myself, and it was like it was a bit scary. It's a bit sad. Anytime I see one, it's like, oh, I did a lot of stupid shit in that car. But, you know, the Suzuki Swift, what was her name? Suko, moved on to a better life. So, hopefully she moved on to a better life. I hope no one's abusing her. I'll have to come for him otherwise. Another question comes from Orc. His question is, what wheels would you get for the MX5? I actually have no clue, really. I'm thinking work CR01s. Obviously, I'd get reps because I'm broke. But CR01s would be pretty cool. S13Ps would be pretty cool. BBS LMs would be pretty cool. I haven't really put much thought. RPF1s would be pretty cool. I haven't put much thought into it just because it's literally like I've got no money. And for those that are wondering, no, the R32 Dream isn't dead, but as you've probably already guessed, that is quite expensive. Right. MX5 questions over. Let's go ahead and get on to the other things. So the next question comes from The next question comes from Arcade, and his question is, who inspired you to do YouTube? So I have told this question before, like, I answered this question before on other Ask Hippos and stuff, but it's been so long, I thought I'd just re-go through the story relatively quickly. So essentially, back in the day, I used to watch loads of COD YouTubers. That is kind of that was my foray into YouTube. It was through Modern Warfare 2 videos, and that was in 2009, like I said, almost a decade ago. Fucking scary. I'll list the names. I don't know if they still make videos. I know Hutch probably still does, but Hutch, Sennheiser, Tabes. It's so weird saying all those names, like Sennheiser, like that's just weird. And it was all because I wanted to get better at Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, and I did. I got so good at that game. But other than that, like, it was really just like on myself. Obviously, I saw the YouTubers and was like, oh, like I want to have people to play with. Back in the day, all my friends at school had 360s. I had a PS3, and I was the only one on the PS3. So naturally, I had no one to play with, and I was like, well, if I get a YouTube channel and get some people following, maybe I can get people to play with. And that still translates today, because I still play with all the Drivecast lots. So, you know, I guess the real reason why I started YouTube was to just get to people to play with, and then it kind of snowballed and snowballed, and then I met the guys at Ghost, and then I met the guys at Ubisoft, and then I met the guys at Microsoft, and it's all just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. The next question, again, is still YouTube related. It's, how did you convince your parents to let you do YouTube at a younger age, and what is your current biggest motivation to do YouTube at all? So the number one thing is I actually didn't ask. Like, they didn't know until they found a video of me like literally cursing, like fully cursing, playing COD, and I remember that so specifically. Yeah, that was stupid. That was fucking stupid. Obviously I still swear and stuff because that's just like, it's just whatever. It's just like, it's just me. That is just what I do. But as a kid, that was so put on, like, no. Jesus. So the real answer to that is, like, I didn't really ask for anyone's permission. I just did it behind everyone's back, and then obviously they just found out. And then my biggest motivation currently, and I think it's a mix of things. There was a lot of people that told me back in the day in school and stuff that this would never get anywhere, and I feel like that is kind of a thing, like to prove everyone wrong is a motivation. I obviously enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. To speak to thousands of people on a regular basis, that's something which not many other people get the opportunity for, so naturally, like, that's something I'm grateful, and I respect that still. And I know a lot of people don't like think about it like that, but to get to even to 10 people, you know, even if a video does poorly, like that never leaves my mind. I almost feel like, especially with my channel and stuff and the way I do things, I feel like it's of me now to upload videos. I feel like I've seen how my videos reach certain people, and I've seen the effects my videos have had on certain, and it sounds so stupid if you don't understand YouTube. If you don't watch any YouTubers and you're not in the comment section of people's videos, and if you're not interacting, and if you only watch TV and you don't like have any links with any YouTubers, you don't talk to any of them, then that probably sounds stupid to you. But I've seen my videos really touch people in certain ways. I've had paragraphs upon paragraphs sent to me by people who are going through hard times, and that's another thing. It's feel like I feel like that is another big motivation. I'm doing it for those people that, you know, I can relate to that as well, because I've been through tough times where YouTubers and watching YouTube is kind of like a relief. It's kind of like an escapism. That was another reason why I started YouTube originally, was it was a good form of escapism, you know, from going to school and stuff. and I respect that and I understand that, and I feel like that's something which really helps me specifically make videos. A lot of other YouTubers don't really get the idea of escapism through YouTube, and you know, being able to connect to the guy that's opposite the camera, like doing something like this really helps like that, and I think that's a big motivation. I think overall I obviously enjoy it, but those are probably some other like little things. I think overall the biggest motivation for me is wanting to do this full time, and then everything else is just supporting it by a million. But I don't think it would change when I'm doing it full time, because those other, you know, supporting motivations are still so important. Another question comes from Z, and his question is, are you planning on streaming a bit more and uploading it to YouTube and editing it a little, kind of like AR12? I think CJ does it as well. I honestly like don't think so. I obviously streamed a lot of E3, and I do that every year. I stream the conferences, then I had my streaming banned for a day, then it got unbanned. Now we're here. It's weird. I do want to stream more, I guess, but the problem at university is the internet is shit. I can hardly play Rainbow Six Siege, hardly play Payback without lagging, so I don't think that's going to happen at university. While I'm at home, maybe I might stream a bit more. I think I'm going to stream a lot more of the Crew Open beta, because obviously it's the second beta. I think I've recorded a lot of what's already been shown. It's one of those things, if I constantly had an internet connection, it'd be so easy, and it's another one of those things when I could be spending time making videos, which is a bit more long form, a bit more long term. That makes a bit more sense. But I think especially when I get my own place eventually, like in a few years down the road, I think I would like to do that with a stable internet connection. Streaming is definitely something which I'll look into. Right, the next question comes from Oliver, and his question is, do you think Forza Horizon 4 is going to have proper progression where you actually have to work to get cars, or do you think they're going to give you a ton of cars to get to please the casual players like the previous two games? Had to include Forza question. Game's out, people are excited. Do I think they're going to kind of casual more to the casual audience? I think so. It seems like progression is definitely going to be in the game, but Forza's never really been a game about like grinding for cars. It's always been about like collecting cars and, you know, having lots of money to have all these different cars. So I don't necessarily think the cars will be a grind, but you know, the return of wristbands, the return of like, well, the newer features of adding houses and businesses, I don't think the hardcore people will have problems. They've even said in the IGN interview, they've gone as far as to say that they've built this game for the hardcore audience. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for people like us. But then again, I would not be surprised if we do get given another Ferrari in the first 5 minutes of the game. And you know what? Just because like we haven't even answered anything like the crew related, will I go ahead and answer the crew question? Is that GOF or Jeff? He says, what feature from the Crew 1 do you think needs to be brought back in the future in the Crew 2 other than PvP? Well, I was going to say PvP. I didn't actually read the question properly until now. Faction missions, maybe? I think faction missions are gone. I'd like to see those back. I just think that was one thing which added a lot of replayability for me. And then obviously PvP is definitely number one. To be honest, I feel like they've carried most things through. Like, I see a lot of people moaning about police, but for me, police are not a big thing for that game. Like, I don't really... whatever. And the final question comes from Angel, and his question is, does anyone at your university watch your videos or is an active subscriber? If so, how does it feel? This is a really interesting question, actually. This is a really interesting question. I guess it goes for both uni and when I was at school. Do people watch my videos and how do you react to it? I know this is something so many other people struggle with. I know people like who get really nervous when they ask, or they're embarrassed about it. Definitely earlier on when I was a bit younger in school, like I'd always get really embarrassed about it and wouldn't want people to talk about it and stuff. Now I could really give a fuck. I know why I want to do this. I know where it can go. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're not if you're not in the ecosystem, if you're not a YouTuber, if you don't watch the videos and stuff, you won't understand it. If I tell someone and they kind of give me a weird look, well, I can tell that you're still watching TV. I can tell you're a bit behind the curve when it comes to that kind of shit. And like I said, if you don't understand it, it's so hard for people to grasp. They just don't get it. Like, if you aren't the type of person, like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about people and how the reach of the channel and stuff, if you aren't in that position to understand how this is so effective, or if you're just that type of person who just watches compilations and stuff and you don't actually like watch YouTubers, you won't understand. You won't have a clue. Like, you know, yeah, people know, yeah, people know definitely. But it's one of those things that, like, if people don't like it, it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to bother me so much, like, especially at school, but now I thrive off it. It's the one thing which makes me different to everyone else. When I go to uni, there's so many people that are just the same. It's like carbon copies of people. Like, there's such a lack of people with their own personality. It's something I found so interesting. People are so scared of what other people think of them, and YouTube is the one thing which differentiates me from it. Obviously being a car guy is pretty niche as well. Like, there's not many car people at my uni. There's a lot of things about me which differentiate myself, but YouTube is one of the major things for my personality. It's one of the things which keeps me sane. It's one of the things which keeps me working, keeps me active. It's one of the things which keeps me driven, and it really is an important part of my life now. I think I know like 1 or 2 people that watch videos, but then again, they could have been lying. Like, I'm not sure whether that's true or not. There's probably 1 or 2 that probably do. And how does it feel? No different to you subscribing. Obviously, meeting someone in real life and them saying, oh, we've watched your videos, or taking the mick out of it, it's a bit different, but it's not, honestly feels no different to me. Like, back when I went to Gamescom last year and I met a subscriber at Gamescom and I got recognised. That's happened to me on a handful of occasions now, like I think 4 or 5 times. You know, even it's happened to me when I was just walking around the town centre near me, and like that is more special to me than someone at uni saying it. That is really special to me. There's not really a feeling I get when someone from uni says it. It's like, oh, you're it's like, I get it, like, I get it, you're trying to start a conversation, but, like, you don't actually care. I do this because, like, I love it. Like, I love doing this. It's for all the reasons I mentioned earlier regarding motivation. And it is, I guess, a bit weird. It is a bit weird. I ain't gonna lie. And I think we're gonna answer one more question. This video is gonna be going for ages. But we'll do one more. Right, here's an easy one from Tinky. Tinky Winky! His question is, what was your favourite game announced at E3? I'm gonna do a quick fire for this one and say either The Last of Us or The Division 2. So with that being said, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this relatively long Ask Hippo. It's been so long since I've done one of these, so I did want to pump one out for you guys to shove it in there, like I said earlier. And I hope you guys did enjoy it. If I didn't answer your question, please leave it in the comment section down below. I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to this one, so if I didn't answer it, make sure to go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll answer it in the comments now. That's been it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe, and peace.